How long does it actually take you to get jacked? But let's ignore all the convoluted crap that you're always fed on social media and give you a straight answer. So how long would it take for you to look damn good while weightlifting? If you didn't know, bro, my name's Nick, and I lost over 70 pounds of fat in 3 years of lifting, going from this to this. And while going through my own transformation, I learned a lot of lessons the hard way. But the first thing I want to address is exactly that. Transformation journeys and all this false expectation bullshit that is shared on social media. So what you think is jacked or ripped on social media isn't actually what it is in real life. A lot of influencers that you see online look crazy, right? But that's mainly to do with three main things. The first most important reason for this is genetics. So genetics will determine how far your muscle building potential and your ability to get jacked, it covers all of that. You have a lot less control over how your body will look than you think. This makes up about 70%. So if you were to go to the gym and do everything you could to optimize it, that would be 30% of your results, depending on your level of hard work, which is a great amount of percentage. And it's definitely no excuse not to go to the gym to max out and see how far you can take your physique. Nonetheless though, most of the people that you see online have elite genetics, top 5%, top 1% genetics, and that's why they blow up, because they look the most vascular, they got the best body type, they got the best proportions and shit like that. We're real gay with this whole beauty pageant shit, by the way, on the internet as guys. But nonetheless, another aspect of this is lighting and angles. Oh my gosh, you can have a look at me in one set of lighting and 10 seconds later, 15 seconds later, you'd think I'd gain like 5 pounds of fat in another set of lighting. But what you don't realize is that the thing that makes these influencers very attractive and makes these people very attractive to all kinds of people, especially women, is not how jacked they are. It's their level of leanness. This stands out the most when you're out in public, walking by people and getting a first impression of people. It's actually how lean you are. So these fitness influencers online, including me with my Instagram, give you a warped perception of how cameras work with, taking videos of yourself and actually meeting the person in real life. In real life, they may not be that big, but they made an effort to get lean. You may even have a solid amount of muscle on you, but you don't have the lean frame to reveal what you've actually built over these years if you've just been living, or you have naturally good genetics, but you just haven't been able to dial in with the diet and all the other factors that will allow you to actually stand out when out in public and seeing other people. So to summarize it, getting lean is the quickest way to look jacked rather than actually building muscle. Another thing I want to bring up is getting jacked takes a lot longer than getting shredded. Now, if you don't believe me, as someone who personally started obese and overweight their entire childhood and had to lose a crap ton of fat, yeah, it is a lot actually tougher to build muscle. And it definitely took a longer amount of time than any dedicated fat loss diet or cut would take. This is why generally my cuts to lose fat take 1/3 the amount of time than my bulks to gain muscle. And on many of those bulks, I may even gain a lot of fat alongside that. And that's just a reality that you have to come to grips with. But something that can really help you if you're new and just starting out, gaining muscle can happen quickly if you fit into one of these three categories. The first one is if you are a beginner and you've never trained before, you've never resisted against weight before, like doing calisthenics on the playground or some shit like that, or just going to the gym and you've never done that before. And this also counts if you've never done it consistently. If you've never consistently showed up to the gym for, let's say, 3 months, then you would be able to gain muscle very, very quickly. And I'll give you the estimate of how much muscle you can actually gain if you dedicate time and do things correctly, and how long it'll actually take for you to reach a desired amount of muscle that makes you look more aesthetic and attractive and more confident in yourself. The next category that can gain muscle rapidly is if you are coming back from a layoff of the gym. So if you've taken a break from the gym and you're coming back, there's something known as muscle memory. Think about muscle memory as like you playing Wii when you're a child, like playing Mario Kart when you're a kid and getting good at the races and all that. And then you take years off, but then you come back, playing Mario Kart seems natural to you. That's essentially muscle memory with your body. Now, the last category of people who can gain muscle rapidly is people that are juicing. People that are pinning themselves either in the butt, taking stuff orally, doing illegal stuff. Not a fan personally, never really wanted to try it, and the side effects I wouldn't recommend on anyone, even my worst enemy. So those are the 3 categories of people who can gain muscle rapidly. Now, most likely out of the 3, I'm guessing that you are the first one. If you're new to lifting in the gym, you haven't done it consistently for 3 months or more, and you don't know how to do it properly, this is how long you would expect to gain most of your muscle. Training consistently is one thing, but it's also about training hard, training intensity. If you're not lifting 60 to 70 or more percentage of your 1 rep maximum, meaning that like if there's a weight that you can only do 1 rep of, like I'm talking like you either do that or you're pinned or you're dead or you're like you fucked yourself. If you can only do that and you do 70% of that or more, between 70 and 90%, then you are lifting hard and intensely. You want to make sure that each set is somewhere near failure. I'm talking 3 reps or less. You wouldn't be able to know that unless you've actually been to failure before. Once you're used to the groove of the movement, you've practiced it a few times, let's say a month into the gym, you can go in and test your max reps, which is also called a AMRAP test, as many reps as possible with a certain weight. And then you would figure out what point is failure for you. That's when you just lift, you keep going until the weight doesn't move anymore and your muscle cannot continue to contract or stretch under that load. Every other session after that should be within 3 reps of that type of intensity. Anything less than that, then you will still gain some muscle, but not at the rate that we want you to, so that you can actually look jacked as quickly as possible. So once you have training intensity locked in, you can go to the gym between 3 and 4 times per week, and that will be more than enough for you to see great amounts of gains in your first 1 to 2 years. So you can go online and just pick a full body workout routine or a upper lower routine that is 4 days per week. Start upper on Monday, lower on Tuesday, upper on Thursday, lower on Friday. Gives you enough time to rest in between and allows you to hit all the muscle groups to grow and look more aesthetic, look more jacked, and it hits that twice per week. So if you've got consistency down, you're hitting the gym 3 to 4 days per week, training hard, the last thing you want to make sure is that you're eating enough protein. This is another massive factor to push more muscle gain out of you. If you're lifting hard in the gym, but you're not looking anywhere into your diet whatsoever, then you are leaving a lot of gains on the table. Protein as a food is shown to be anabolic. It's shown to promote muscle growth. And this is especially important after sessions where you need more protein to help resynthesize the muscle, because workouts are for breaking down muscle. The food and the nutrients that you consume is for promoting muscle growth and rebuilding the muscle. And the faster and higher quality that you're able to do that will allow you to train harder the next time and will allow you to grow more muscle day by day, week by week, and actually see results quickly. So my rule for protein intake is to eat at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That is more than enough. 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. More than enough to grow muscle. And it doesn't matter too much at your point right now when you take it or how many servings you take of it. You just want to make sure that you hit that goal. So if you're 80 kilograms, that would be 2 times 80 kilograms, 160 grams of protein per day. If you're 200 pounds, 1 times 200. Come on, boys. I mean, I skipped math class. I actually dropped out of math at year 10, but I should be able to know that one. I'm kidding. 200 grams of protein per day for a 200-pound man. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the diet, but you want to make sure that you're at least eating calorie maintenance or calorie surplus. Honestly, if you're new to the gym, then you can eat at a calorie deficit and lose fat whilst gaining muscle. It actually is possible for someone who is new and hasn't consistently trained for more than 3 months. However, if you're looking to gain the most amount of muscle during this period of the next 3 to 6 months, then you want to be at least at a maintenance for calories or a little bit more. And you might actually see that appetite will go up the more you go to the gym consistently, because demand for nutrients and energy goes up. Now that we've covered that, I'll tell you how long it took me to go from flabby with rolls, depressed, game addicted, fucking just insulting myself, to where I'm at now, where I can take my shirt off at the beach, feel confident, walk into a room and instantly gain respect from other guys, have a good impression on women, and just better confidence overall. My initial noob gains actually didn't last long, and I wasn't able to gain a lot of the muscle that I have now. I did transform my physique, being able to gain muscle and lose fat rapidly at the same time. And this is something that I've gone into detail with my 6-week rapid fat loss guide that you can hit me up on Instagram to get a copy of, or check out the link in my description and actually follow it to a T. Nutrition, mindset, even the training routine that I followed, it's all in there. And it's completely free. That's where I gained my initial newbie gains. But from there, after I was fully lean and almost anorexic, I went to a muscle gain phase. So this is a long-term bulk, which is something I'd actually really recommend for people who are starting skinny. But over about a year and a half, it took me from this to this. Now, at this point, I was a lot more heavy. Went from essentially, I think it was 72.5 kg, which I don't know how much that is in pounds. I'll just put it on the screen right now, to 94 kg. So that's pretty much almost 50 pounds, which is a lot. Obviously, not all of that is muscle. However, I did cut down and I took a solid 3-month cut and I lost 35 pounds in that time frame. And if you want to know how I did that, then you can hit me up on Instagram. Again, hit me up with the word shred and I'll see if I can help. But after shredding off the fat, after gaining the new muscle that I built over a year and a half, I was able to get to the same level of leanness with about 15 to 20 pounds more muscle. And that is something I'd realistically predict is the amount of muscle that you could gain if you dedicated a year to working out in the gym and doing it consistently, training hard, showing up. Then I believe you could gain anywhere from 20 pounds, even up to 50 pounds. Now, 50 pounds, that's an anomaly. That's if you have rare genetics, social media, you know, that type of David Lade type shit, elite genetics. But for the average person in their first year, they can expect to gain 15 to 30 pounds of muscle. Raw, natural, no stimulants, not even caffeine, no pinning themselves, none of that. And yeah, that's why gaining muscle is a long process, because you have to show up consistently for yourself, week after week. The progress and the visual changes don't come until weeks, months down the line. And by the way, if you're looking to lose 25 to 50 pounds of body fat in the next 90 days or less using my steep solution, which I've used on tons of guys just like you, young, looking to get in shape, improve their confidence, look more aesthetic, then you can check out my coaching application, which is also linked in the description. Anyways, bro, remember to leave no more lost potential, and I'll see you in the next one.